Hello, and welcome to Module 2, the Progress Report. By now, hopefully, you've completed your comprehensive medical report, and in a real-life situation, you would have treated your patient a few times. So now it's time to report your treatment outcomes to the appropriate agency, perhaps an insurance company, workers' compensation, personal injury case, so forth. In Moodle, we have provided you with a template of a progress report that you can use for this assignment and any future progress reports. I want to go over the important elements of a progress report so that you make sure you include them with an additional advice for the very end, which I think will help raise the level of our profession and further educate everyone around us on the efficacy of our medicine. So let's begin. With a progress report, when you're beginning, first thing, let's get the patient's name and any claim number or numbers associated with this patient. Make sure that is listed where appropriate. You're going to summarize your report and in your treatment outcomes in two places. In the very opening paragraph will just be a basic summary of the progress to date. And then at the very end discussion, you're going to summarize one more time what progress you've made with the patient. So you open it up with that summary of the progress you've made. This patient came to me on this date with a pain scale of 9 out of 10, and after 4 treatments, we're at a 5 out of 10. Or range of motion, or whatever you use to objectively measure your patient. You're going to state that in that opening summary. The next 2 placeholders are for things like the patient's complaint, what they came in to see you for, your diagnosis that you gave them. Make sure to include ICD codes there as well. Many of the agencies will require that. And then you want to add in any physical exams that you performed on the patient and the results of those as well. Then if you look down, you're going to go into your treatment plan. You're going to detail the treatments that you performed on that patient. And it's important that you're specific. It's not enough to say, I treated the patient 5 times, they're getting better, I'd like to request 6 more treatments. That is not appropriate. What's more appropriate and more professional is to state each of the treatment dates, and you have to be very detailed of what you did on those treatment dates. That means including CPT codes, current procedural terminology on each of those dates. What did you do? You list it there. And then I think even more importantly, your objective measurements of the outcomes for each of those treatments need to be there so that somebody reading could see the progress, right? So if you have 5 treatment dates or 3 treatment dates, the patient came in on this date, pain was 9 out of 10 when they started, and when they left my treatment that day, it was at a 5 out of 10. When they returned a week later, the pain was about a 6 out of 10. After my treatment, it went down to a 4 out of 10. On the 3rd treatment date, they came in with a 4 out of 10, and they left with a 2 out of 10. So hopefully you understand we want to show the progress. We want to be very specific on what we did. I did a 97810. I did acupuncture. I did 97811, additional acupuncture. I did 97813, electroacupuncture. Adding in those CPT codes is important, and making sure that you do that right from the start is much better than submitting something without them and having it returned to you. Finally, in the final discussion, here's where we're going to summarize one more time the treatment outcomes and the progress we've made. And then we want to say exactly what's next for this patient. So I've seen them 5 times. They've had 90% improvement. I think with 5 more treatments, we'll be at 100% improvement. Or I've seen them 5 times. They're 100% feeling better. And so I don't need to see them anymore. Thank you. It's up to you to really be specific on where is this patient now. Now, here's that advice I suggested in the opening of this module. I highly suggest that if you have any current research on efficacy of acupuncture in treating the condition in your progress report, add it here. You can say something like, I've treated the patient 5 times, and we've had an 85% reduction in pain, or an 85% improvement in range of motion. As you can see by the attached research, it typically takes 10 to 12 treatments before a patient gets full range of motion or reduces pain completely. So I'd like to, therefore, request 5 more treatments, 4 more treatments. It just backs up what you're asking for. It further educates the public on the efficacy of our medicine, and it's all around super professional. So that's what we give you as advice. Is it absolutely necessary? No. The most necessary components are right here in this PowerPoint. So let me show you that. And that would be here. Progress report major components. This is in the PowerPoint for this module. Patient's name, claim numbers, and so forth. Summary of improvement, and I put it in bold. Objective measurements. Let's make sure we're very clear of the objective measurements. The present complaint, physical exams that you performed with the outcomes, your diagnosis with ICD codes, International Classification of Disease. I believe we're on ICD-10. Who knows where we're going to be in the future, but make sure you have the current ICD code. Your treatment plan with your CPT codes. This is where you have listed all the treatment dates, what you performed on those treatment dates, and the patient outcome, objective patient outcome from each date. Then lastly, a summary of discussion of the progress you've made and what you're requesting. Do you want more treatments? Do you think you need 5, 6, 10 more treatments? Back it up with any research you might have found, or maybe you're done with this patient, but it's important at that final summary to say where you are with this patient. I hope this module has been helpful. I will see you at the last and final module, which is the medical necessity letter. Be well.